Get this, everyone. I just told the guys over at Ubisoft that they should make a new shooter game, but get this. Make the developers the guys who made a Guitar Hero clone. Oh, CoD Killer, and previously, Halo Killer, rest in peace Halo, are two terms you see thrown around quite a lot, most commonly with Battlefield. Now, if you're not sure, CoD Killer basically refers to any game that is designed and marketed to compete directly with Call of Duty, whether that's a brand new big budget FPS or some indie CoD clone. But really, it's just a way for people to express their annoyance with CoD while simultaneously hyping up a new first-person shooter release. And the reason I say that is because examples of games that have been labeled as CoD killers really don't play that similarly to CoD. I think the two that come to mind the quickest are Battlefield and Titanfall, and those games play completely differently from Call of Duty. So regardless of how much sense the term makes, we're going to run with it for this video. So of course, no CoD killer has actually been successful at killing CoD. Sorry, Battlefield. But why is that? Well, franchises and naming are powerful. Call of Duty is a monolithic franchise that everyone still buys despite the complaints, like the MCU. The DCEU certainly wasn't able to take down the MCU. So no duh, Battlefield couldn't take down CoD. CoD's name might not be the most respected in the world right now due to its oversaturation, again similar to the MCU, but that's part of why I'll keep making that comparison.
What do you mean, Sonny? I'm still the king.
Well, sales-wise, yes, Grandpa CoD. Call of Duty is still the best-selling game every single year, unless of course Rockstar released something in that year, but of course they don't release that many games anymore. And Call of Duty is the exact opposite. They release a lot of Call of Duty games. It's absolutely an oversaturated franchise, but a new game every single year that barely changes anything from the last is, of course, nothing revolutionary. Just look at sports games. But that doesn't mean it isn't a powerful strategy. Franchise saturation is powerful because people get conditioned to go buy that new CoD game every single year, just like they're conditioned to go buy the new Madden, FIFA, and NBA 2K game. Now, some saturation can be good. You get more of the games you like, and the publisher gets to make more money. But too much oversaturation can become a problem, because then you get Call of Duty Vanguard. Great news, everyone, because it does look like Call of Duty is actually going to be taking a year off for 2023. Wait. What's that the leaks are saying? Or I guess not. Looks like they want to release MWII 2022 too. How many 2s do you need, Activision? Come on, lend Valve some numbers so they can make an actually good Left 4 Dead 3. Not you. But regardless, while still commercially successful, the latest releases haven't exactly been critically successful. At least not critically with the fans. IGN will keep giving Call of Duty an 8 out of 10 for the rest of time for some reason. So with that, where's our new CoD Killer?
You're gonna kill me?
No, Grandpa CoD, we're not going to kill you. Let me explain. XDefiant is the next CoD killer. It's unique from, say, Battlefield because it plays exactly like old, better Call of Duty. And unlike indie CoD clones, XDefiant actually has major studio backing. Yeah, Ubisoft isn't much better than Activision, but I'll take my arcade shooter without SBMM, damn it! Speaking of Ubisoft, when are we getting some Assassin's Creed representation in this game? Wouldn't it be so cool to go leap off a Florentine tower into combat? Okay, maybe not. And I should go wash off, but you get the point. So, does XDefiant actually have potential to be a CoD killer? Sorry, but no. All hail Zack Snyder. But even he can only make the DCEU competitive with the MCU. So that's exactly what we want, because XDefiant definitely has potential to be competitive with Call of Duty. If a good chunk of us skip on CoD 2023 and play XDefiant instead, I don't know, maybe it'll make Activision actually acknowledge the existence of skill-based matchmaking. Or, you know, in general, just make better decisions. Right after they acknowledge SBMM, maybe they'll tune it down a little bit because XDefiant's been so popular with its lack of SBMM. Or they'll see XDefiant's old-school Call of Duty-esque map design and maybe CoD's and Activision are like, maybe we should go back to our roots with map design. People much prefer maps where you can rush compared to maps where you have a bunch of hidey holes and doors built for campers. And so of course that's why we want XDefiant to be competitive with Call of Duty, because we want Call of Duty to be good again, plus we'll also get another really fun shooter, so win-win for everybody. That's what competition does. But I'm sure you've already played XDefiant or watched your favorite creators play and talk about it, so I'm sure you've made up your mind of if you want to support XDefiant or not. So let's go back to this whole franchise thing we were talking about earlier, but that won't be the last you see of XDefiant in this video, don't worry, I love the beta after all. To make that point, everybody knows Call of Duty, and people like to stick with what they're comfortable with. It's the same thing with a legendary brand like the MCU. It couldn't even be defeated by Superman. So how is a new IP supposed to compete with Call of Duty if Superman couldn't even compete with Iron Man 3? So clearly, name recognition is one of the biggest hurdles for any franchise killer. So that killer is going to need a killer name to kill the franchise that needs killing.
Just like I killed your sister on Xbox Live in 2009.
I don't think that's very appropriate, Grandpa Cop. Wait, did you say sister? You're supposed to say your mom for that kind of joke, man. You're getting too old.
Hey, I like their age on the clock.
Okay, did one of you guys replace Grandpa CoD with Joe Biden?
That's when their hair smells the nicest.
Okay, I need to get both of you arrested immediately, since clearly most people aren't that attentive either. See what I did with that segue there? Linus would be proud. But an even better segue would be this segue to me asking you to subscribe to the channel. Back to before and people not exactly paying attention to every single little thing on the internet. Not that you can blame them, people obviously have real lives after all. But either way, a great example of this point would be the amount of Ship a Thesis bans you see. Two off the top of my head are Lorna Shore and Chelsea Grin, but it totally makes sense. It's much easier to continue a band with that original band's name, even if it's a completely different band, because people will recognize that original band's name and they'll go click on it, even if it's a completely new band in reality. So it's clearly not just games and movies. Name recognition is important everywhere. On that, XDefiant certainly doesn't have the best start here. Most videos on YouTube, and I'm a hypocrite, just say CoD Killer. They don't even use its own name. And finally, on to marketing. Call of Duty has always had amazing marketing. There's a lot of people out there who are nostalgic for all those CoD trailers with Eminem in them, and just all those crazy, zombie map trailers, or new multiplayer DLC trailers even.
You jaywalked! We saw you jaywalk! Say it! Say I jaywalked! Say I jaywalked! Or it's about to get crazy in here! You better say something! You can't talk! Okay, attitude! That's where you're headed!
Every little thing people loved and were very iconic, or potentially infamous. And it's not just trailers. Treyarch was getting Avenged Sevenfold to make songs for their games.
Menendez! What the fuck are you doing?
I don't see Ubisoft doing that for XDefiant. Really, for XDefiant so far, yeah, there are trailers that exist on YouTube, but I don't think I've seen one with more than, 150,000 views. And so the marketing for XDefiant, in comparison, is basically non-existent. It's basically all been word of mouth. Yes, clearly that word of mouth has been very successful so far, but how do you get 8-year-old Timmy to hear about XDefiant? Right, he gets a cool trailer as a YouTube ad. And so looking at it, XDefiant could totally be very popular on the internet, but completely ignored by general audiences. So I hope Ubisoft can prevent that from being the case. One thing I do know is what Ubisoft executives will see when they're looking at 2023 sales numbers.
Wait, you can't arrest me. I have to get on Minecraft with the boys.